Rah!
I just
Rah!
felt like it.
You ready to keep going?
Meow.
Okay. Let's see what happened last time. They talked with the heroes
Who can get dunked on?
who can get
Siberian's
dunked
not
on.
dead yet, right?
Siberian is not dead yet. I believe the last we saw of Siberian, she had picked up a moving truck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Fun.
she picked up a moving truck after being nuked by Sundancer's son.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, let's keep going.
Meow.
The heroes were gathered. I couldn't set them apart. With few exceptions, they each wore an identical costume with full body coverage.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're trying to retrieve their people before the bombs fall.
There were subtle differences in height and body shape.
You know, can I just say for a minute that that's actually kind of a villainy thing for a Pigo to do? Be like, oh, you can get your people out, but better hurry. I'm dropping the bombs in just a few minutes. I'm writing an arc where my protagonist is confronting a mad bomber, and this dialogue just it's a little familiar.
It is pretty villainy, isn't it?
It's a little villainy. I mean, I wouldn't even. I mean, man, I wouldn't even do that. Like I said, my particular brand of villainy would be chaos and things that are funny to me. And I'm not. I take no responsibility for anyone else thinking anything is funny, but to me,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Like this is a little. This is a little much. Like, no, bit much.
All right. There were subtle differences in height and body shape, which let me identify the people at the extreme ends of the physical spectrum. Vista, who was the smallest, and Triumph, the most muscle-bound. Well,
Ryan? Good name.
Weld wasn't in the concealing costume, presumably to retain more of his shape-shifting capability.
Oh, I thought it was because maybe he had something he wanted to show off. Like his bod. I'm sorry. You guys know what you're here for. I am a peanut gallery.
Yeah.
I'm the peanutiest panda.
I am pelted with peanuts every time we do this.
Yeah, peanuts and popcorn.
Vista, Clockblocker, Weld, Flechette, Triumph, Miss Militia, Assault, Glory Girl, Battery, Cash, and the Ghostly Bear were joining them. That left two more I couldn't place. They moved in formation.
I will never stop in my head calling her Glory Hole. It's
Might
stuck.
as well do what I could to help. I drew out arrows and words on the ground, with names by each arrow to point them to Jack, Bonesaw, and Crawler. With the arrow length, I tried to indicate how far the distance was to each of the enemies in question. They spent about 10 seconds discussing it, then broke into a run, going for Jack and Bonesaw. Good. We reached the scene of the ongoing fight with Crawler.
I feel like that dude from Gravity Falls. While they're like gearing up, and I'm just like, get him, get him.
Sundancer was off the dog and on the ground the second we could see him, creating her orb and increasing its size.
That just sounds like it's something, but it isn't. Off the dog.
Ah, yes, to be off the dog.
It sounds like off the record, but there's also all these like I feel like there's other like idioms involving dogs. I'm just like to say like you're off the dog. It sounds like you're no longer hungover. Can we make that a thing? I'm off the
We
dog.
can make that a thing. I don't know. It sounds something. It sounds like recovering.
Right? Like I said.
Something.
Like I said. Oh, I'm off the dog. I'm no longer hungover. Oh, my booster shot took. I'm good now. I'm gonna make that a thing. I'm stupid. I'm making that a thing. If any of you guys pick this up, you may join the Panda 9. Select which finger you would like to cut off to join.
Hooray.
I'm sorry. I'm just having fun with this.
She was fireproof, but she didn't have the ability to grant that benefit to others. When she was...
Who's perfect?
Sundancer.
Okay, got it.
Once she was standing, the orb was free to grow. There wasn't much my bugs could do. They settled on Crawler and found his flesh impenetrable. I began preparing web nets, drawing lines of silk between my airborne bugs. Amy's relay bugs had afforded me the chance to pick up far more bugs than I otherwise might have. My attention flickered over my swarm. Nearly 1,000,000 spiders. They were only a relatively small percentage of the swarm itself.
I'm sorry, just I hear that and I just think, you would not believe your eyes if 10,000 is a 10 million fireflies. But here it's spiders.
Spiders.
How many spiders was it? Nearly
10 million, yeah. Nearly 1,000,000.
Nearly a million, sorry.
They were only a relatively small percentage of the swarm itself. I had more ants, termites, flies, aphids, gnats, and beetles to form the bulk of my army. I sent the more useless ones toward Amy. Not so many that I overwhelmed her, but enough that she always had more at hand. He's big, he's strong, he's ridiculously tough.
Who are they describing again? This is
Crawler.
Crawler, yeah, he is.
But he's no Leviathan.
Oh!
My spiders began weaving their threads into braids, the flying bugs directing them in and through loops of silk as the threads spooled out. Where bugs couldn't hover, they directed their flight into tight corkscrews to slow themselves. I wondered if this was the most bugs I'd ever controlled. The buzz of my power thrummed through me to the point that I was barely aware of myself and where I was standing. It wasn't just the number of bugs, but the number of instructions. Spiders were spooling thread, organizing by the amounts they had remaining. Flying bugs were gathering in formations, carrying the slower bugs forward and maneuvering the spiders to spin webs. Smaller bugs, the useless ones, I directed to Amy and formed into dozens of decoys. Millions of instructions a second. Estimates said that insects outnumber people by 200 million to 1 in worldwide population.
That's so uncomfortable.
Part of that distribution was biased towards rainforests and other areas humans left uninhabited.
We're in the middle of a fight scene. Do we need this explanation right now? I'm sorry. Can I point that out?
Yeah, you can point that out.
Like,
Part of that At the end of the day, that was just insects, and there were more creatures under my sway than the six-legged variety. I could feel them in the earth, in the walls, beneath the pavement even. Even from the weeks after I'd left the hospital, I dismissed them as background noise, just sources to draw from in amassing my swarms. Now, it felt different. My range was extended, and it wasn't because I was distracted, cornered, trapped. As Crawler noticed us and shifted his position to keep us all in line of sight with his innumerable eyes, I had a few moments to think, to experience my power at its best.
what does Crawler look like, you think?
He was mentioned as being like quadruped, like kind of a cross between the panther and an ape, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, see, I heard that, but then when he says, like, innumerable eyes, I also...
Oh yeah,
you know
that too, yes.
Well, you remember there's a big purple monster in Monsters, Inc., where, like, you know, before he goes onto the scare floor, he's not really a full quadruped, but he has, like, like, these big arms and these, like, and big shoulders and, like, these short little leggies. And, like, you know, before he goes onto the scare floor, I think he only has, like, 2 eyes normally, but he, like, puts his hand, like, they get him ready and they have him, like, put his hands in, like, a box. They hold out this box to him and it's just full of eyes. And he just dips his hands into the box and he just shoves all those eyes onto his head like Play-Doh, and it's like boop, 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 all these eyes, like,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and he's got like kind of these spines. So I feel like, so, you know, when it says, I guess I'm suddenly picturing Crawler as looking kind of like that guy. I mean, of course, that monster is from Pixar Monsters Inc., so of course it's cute rather than, well, okay, I guess they're supposed to be scary because he was a scarer on the floor. But you know, I'm just kind of like, it's just, I feel like it's actually really hard to picture Crawler despite how he's been described, just because it's hard for my brain to put together something like this without having like seen it. You know, it's like the tree beard problem. It's well described, but how do you create something like this visually?
Right.
He's like, yeah, this is like the tree beard thing.
Yeah. Josh mentions that he has 6 legs as well. If
So
we,
can Taylor control him? He has 6 legs.
right? You made this joke before. I'm pretty sure you made this joke before.
It's a good joke, and I demand that is answered. Why can't you control Crawler?
Well, is he a worm?
You just need someone to mess with his self-esteem a little.
Okay, right. If
And no, he's not a worm. Come on. He's not a worm. He has 6 legs. Worms have no legs. Were you not paying attention?
okay. So we have to take him down a few pegs, right? Get him off the dog.
If his legs are a few pegs, then you take him off his pegs.
Yes. Get him off the dog, right? And then
It's a fun term, right? It's a thing now. I'm gonna say people are gonna be like, stop trying to make fetch happen, and like, stop trying to make off the dog happen. It's never going to happen, but it's happening.
and then once he feels like an insect, Taylor will be able to control him.
There you go. It's a great plan.
Perfect. Awesome.
I mean, Panacea can mess with people's heads, right? Have her do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, have her do it.
Josh says he's also got lots and lots of eyes, and his face is asymmetrical as well, I think.
See, you're increasing the bug argument. They have compound eyes. Some of them do.
We were so small. Even in the scope of a single neighborhood, my power extending for roughly 1,000 feet in every direction, it made us all seem tiny.
Oh, honey, we are all tiny in this world. We are all tiny in this world.
Even Crawler.
Even Crawler. Yes, even Crawler.
Don't use your orb on him, Tattletale cautioned. Won't do us any favors, and it'll only make him stronger for the future. Then what should I do? There's no civilians here. Legend and the others have evacuated, I told her. The buildings are empty. She nodded, apparently grasping my meaning. You go high, Dancer, I go low? Gru asked. She nodded. I held back as they advanced, ready to make their move. Ballistic caught Crawler with a projectile, and the monster went sliding. Shatterbird hit him with a wave of glass to keep him down, and Genesis swooped down to smash him over the head with the wreckage of a small car. It did surprisingly little to keep him down. Gru and Sundancer made their moves. Gru swamping Crawler in darkness, while Sundancer brought her orb around into the face of the building. With her miniature sun, she sheared through the concrete and metal, zigzagging the orb through one floor. The supports obliterated or melted, the building crashed down to the street with enough force that the rolling cloud of dust was enough to drive us back. He had to weigh several tons, but the building had him beat in that regard. We hurried to gather. Genesis landed. 1 minute, 45 seconds, Tattletale said. More, if we're lucky. Until? Regent asked. They're bombing the area, I explained. Tattletale, Sundancer, and Trickster found seats on Bentley's back. Bitch climbed up behind me. Imp materialized, for lack of a better word, dropping the effect.
She's been here the whole time, you just didn't notice. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. That left her and Ballistic. 3 people, 2 flyers? Tattletale asked. Can carry 1, Regent said. Too tired to carry more. Shatterbird landed and wrapped her arms around him. I can try to carry the others. Genesis' voice sounded very normal considering her gargoyle-like face. Bitch handed her a length of chain. 1 minute and 15 seconds. Not sure if it's paranoia or my power, but I think the bomb's going to hit closer to the deadline than not. Genesis gathered the chain into a loop. As Imp and Ballistic found their seats and Genesis made motions to take off, there was the sound of shifting rubble. Damn it, Gru swore. Go, go!
Go, go, go!
1 minute, give or take. We ran. There was the sound of more rubble shifting out of place.
You know, after that whole 8-minute thing, that comment about how they had like 8 minutes, I thought about it a little bit when I was at work. Yeah, I can't. Like, I can't do an exam in 8 minutes. I can't. You know, the only thing you can get in 8 minutes at my clinic is if you get one of the senior assistants to take your x-rays. They can do it in like 5 to 8.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah, and that's checkup x-rays. Not all of them, checkup x-rays. So that's like the 4 and 4.
then that's like the most experienced people.
It's hard to get all of these things done at once because, like, I mean, I realize part of why it takes so long for us to do things is we have safety protocols.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For like, so if you're going to take the x-rays, you have to like get the thing in the person's mouth, make sure they close properly, make sure you have the x-ray pointed in the right direction. You know, the person's got to be wearing, they've got to be wearing the bib. You clear the hallway. You make sure nobody is standing anywhere close to the x-ray so that you can like beep, you know, puts the thing, then you go back in, you know. You have to do this several times.
And a lot of it's dependent on the patient as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, you try to do things faster for people who gag, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to do anything like in 8 minutes. I said, I'm an adult. And I'm just like, little kids hear that and they're like, 8 minutes, oh, it's too long.
It's like a 10-minute timeout. That's forever.
And you know, me, 33, 8 minutes. Shit, can you at least give me 10?
Right. There was the sound of more rubble shifting out of place, and then a guttural laughter. It sounded more like it came from multiple gargantuan people laughing in sync than it did from the one monster.
Ew!
More! His voice was even more unnatural. A jumble.
Oh, that's right. You're a pervert too. You're all perverts. Oh my god, you're all perverts. Oh, that's right. He seeks out the pain, right?
Yes.
He seeks out pain because he's like, oh, it'll make me stronger. Listen, honey, I thought pain made me stronger. It just made me a broken person. Okay, I'm not broken, but I'm just saying, like, ew. So the guy who controls Siberian is a pervert. He's definitely a pervert. Jack Slash, oh, he is 200% a pervert.
Oh,
I don't
for
make
sure.
I don't make the rules. You just know. You just know he's a pervert. Who else was on that team? Cherish is a pervert, for sure. Cherish is a huge pervert. Bonesaw, she's perverse in a different way. She's a child, so I'm going to, like, she's only, like, 12, so I'm gonna, like, hold off judgment until she at least hits puberty on whether or not she's a pervert. But, yeah, let's see. That's Cherish. I was actually really excited to hear what kind of voice you're gonna do for Crawler. So we got. You can do a really good Crawler voice because you have a deep grub. You could do a deep grub.
I just pulled that out of nowhere, so I don't know if I can even pull it off again.
Just use your deepest voice possible.
Oh, this is my Crawler voice now.
Oh, okay. And this is going to be my Crawler voice from now on. Isn't it cute?
Oh, what a cute little monster.
Ew.
Ew. Okay.
Koala.
Koala.
I'm a cute little koala.
Bite me.
Bite me.
No, but seriously, Cherish, Crawler, Siberian, and Jack. 4 out of the 5 are known pervert. Or sorry, 4 out of the 9 are known perverts. 4 out of 9. That's, what is it? What's that, 44%? That's uncomfortably high. Come on, I know more of them. Mannequin, do you think he's a pervert?
Mannequin. That aesthetic
It's a little bit pervy,
is a
isn't
little
it?
pervy, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We'll give him a half point. 50% of the Slaughterhouse 9 are known to be perverts. Great. We settled it. Good job.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. We have covered important ground today.
So has Crawler. And so has Sundancer. And so are those bombs going to be covering important ground today. Hey. Why are you all still here? Why are you listening to me? I'm insane.
Alex V says, that panda voice gave me Bonesaw vibes. That's
that's the one I use for
the cute, your stuffed animal.
Oh yeah, the stuffed animal voice. Oh yeah, it's a cute little stuffed animal voice.
This is the voice I use when I'm making fun of anime characters, the really cutesy ones. Wait. Give me something Bonesaw-y to say.
Say the phrase. I want a peek at your brain.
In that cutesy voice?
Yes.
I want to peek at your brain.
I want to peek at your brain. Sorry, like cutesier, grosser.
The quote that Alex V wants you to say is, why are you all still here listening to me? I'm insane.
Why are you all still here listening to me? I'm insane.
That one?
Yeah, the quote you said like 2 minutes ago.
I already said that. No, but seriously, why are y'all here listening to me? I am clearly insane. I have like... You know, part of why I think I really need to like write, and I mean like actually like write original stories. You know, the kind of, man, I had a nightmare that I was like, that I woke, like the nightmare was I woke up and there was like a severed, zombified, rotting head next to me. Like I turned to the side and it was just there staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have, yeah, and I'm actually quite calm these days. I've been having a pretty good week so far, but you know, it's nightmares. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. The impacts of heavy footfall.
Okay, you want me to keep reading? I'm gonna keep reading, okay?
Wait. Say "fight me again" in like a crawler voice.
Hold
Do you
on.
like a deep?
Yeah.
You're bass too. Do you want like a deep bass, like you want to scare me shitless voice?
Let me read the paragraph, okay?
He's petting my head.
More! His voice was even more unnatural, a jumble of individual sounds that only barely came together into something like a word. Not so different from when I spoke through my swarm. Bite
Oh.
me!
I would have, you know who would do a really good voice for this? Pro CD.
Oh.
Pro CD just being like, "Bite me!" in the deep voice of his. I can't do it because
Bite me!
Right, but like deep. Like
He wouldn't be that articulate, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I like hearing your deep bass voice, and the opportunity is here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go on. I'm interrupting. I'm sleepy.
The impacts of heavy footfalls were audible as Crawler broke into a run, giving chase. They were even tactile. He was more than 100
What
feet.
was tactile?
His runs, his
Oh.
footfalls. He was more than 100 feet behind us, but I could feel his
That's
impact.
not a lot. Given how big Crawler is and how fast he seems to run, that's not a lot.
But I could feel his impact shake Sirius. As my bugs struggled to catch up, my swarm sense felt Crawler stop, rearing up on his two hindmost legs. He caught at one corner of a building and tore, twisting his body to throw a chunk of brick. "Look out!" I shouted. My words were too slow. The rock collided with Genesis, catching one wing. She collapsed to the ground, and both Ballistic and Imp fell the 15 or so feet to the ground. Imp shrieked as she landed. No. Crawler's paws to grab concrete had bought me time to get my bugs into position. They swept over Crawler, laying down braided ropes of silk joined by adhesive lines and thin gossamer. Even caterpillars began offering their assistance, using the silk they produced for cocoons. He was a big guy, but it was a lot of silk. I could see how it hampered his movements. There was even something approximating surprise on his face as he dropped down so all 6 legs were firmly on the ground.
So you into bondage, Crawler? You come on. This joke has not been made before. He's a pervert. Taylor's tying him up. You into it, you little bitch?
He's probably into it.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, come on. This guy is a giant masochist. That is canon. That's not me making shit up. He's a masochist. That's canon. I think he enjoys this. I mean, he hasn't left the 9 yet.
Dropped down to all 6 legs. All 6 legs were firmly on the ground, and his forelimbs didn't extend as far as he'd expected. He tried to run, and found himself hampered further. Crawler sported 2 or 3 tons of physical prowess, and his power had fine-tuned him into a physical specimen like few others. My bugs had millions of years of evolution to refine the quality of their silk and their ability to produce it.
Crawler. Looks like a top, but it's actually a bottom.
For now, at the very least, I had the advantage. Genesis, can you run? Fuck. No, Genesis spoke. Made these claws for grabbing.
Huh?
Hmm?
What? Maybe he's crawl.
Made these claws for grabbing.
Okay.
True enough, her forelimbs and rear limbs were more like clawed hands than feet or hooves. Imp! Ballistic! Run! It wasn't enough. We had too much distance to cover before we could be sure of our safety. Or of Imp's and Ballistic's safety anyways. Even with another 2 minutes, or another 5, Well, people weren't that fast as a rule, and neither Imp nor Ballistic were runners. It looked like Imp had hurt herself in the fall. Tattletale, I shouted. Take Imp! Bentley's strong enough to take 4. Got it! She cried, steering Bentley around, and the group scooped up Imp, pulling her up onto Tattletale's lap. 4 people, but 3 of them were girls in good shape. Sirius wasn't as strong, and Gru was heavy. Bitch wasn't exactly slight, and Ballistic was built like a football player. Between the 4 of us, I doubted Sirius had it in him. Not if we wanted to move fast. Gru, I called out. Don't you fucking dare! He turned his head around. I disentangled from Bitch's
See, you're
grip.
using that. See, that's a nice voice. I like that voice. Go on.
I disentangled from Bitch's grip, avoided Gru's clutching hand, and slid to the ground.
She fucking dared.
He fucking dared.
Oh, Tay-Tay.
I didn't land with both feet under me, so I tipped over and rolled.
Ooh.
Ballistic, take my seat, I shouted as I got my feet under me. I glanced behind me at Crawler and broke into a run. Skitter! Gru barked the word. Just go! I have a plan!
She always has a plan.
Easier to lie when I was shouting, my face hidden.
Oh. Oops, I spoke too soon. Well, you better think fast, girl. Not like your life depends on it or anything, herp. It's cold today. It's 47 degrees.
Alex says, oh wow, Taylor Dominatrix. That's something that had never crossed my mind.
Wait, I hadn't thought of that.
Well,
Okay.
you did
Oh, the crawler thing!
the crawler thing, yeah.
My brain, it just completely separated it out as like spiders versus crawler. And Taylor just wasn't in the equation. Yeah, Taylor... Could she do it? Do you think she could do it? Do you think she could do it?
Be a dominatrix? Only if she got... If it was
Angry?
for a reason, I think. She would do it in a very clinical way.
There are a lot of people who are into that. Let me tell you, there are a lot of people who would be into that.
You know, we're probably not the first people to have thought of this. Or
Yeah, I'm sure there's fan art.
Yeah.
I mean, Rule 34 is a thing.
right?
Not that I'm gonna go seeking it out because, ugh, not into that. But you know,
They picked up Ballistic and bolted. I was left behind in moments. Run, little girl! Crawlers. Yeah.
what was that voice?
Crawler's
Love
broken
you.
voice carried, a rumble so low I could feel
Run,
it.
little girl, run! Can I get that on a T-shirt? That's awesome. You can put that on mugs. Wildbow, come on, sell some merch. Sell some merch. I'll help you sell some merch. I won't even ask for too big of a cut. Like, come on, run, little girl, run. That's a great.
I'll get free. I'll catch you. I'll hold you down and lick your skin until it melts.
Oh, so he is a pervert. Confirmation. Confirmation. Blech. Blech. Can they hear the gagging noises?
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
I'll pluck your eyes out with the tip of my tongue.
Chut de plumerie.
I have your scent, and you cannot ever stop me. You cannot ever escape.
Flick your eyes out through your tongue. Didn't we just watch we just watched the Ted Legends thing? He's a sky goblin. He's a sky goblin from that one tribe near Ecuador. They eat eyes. They eat your eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're cats. They like the liver and the eyes, according to that.
Mm,
I've never forgotten
delicious.
that. I've never forgotten that coroner like class where she was like, they like the liver. Cats. They like the liver and the eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and they will pass on the fava beans. You know. You having fun?
Yeah, Alex is pointing out that now her plan to stay alone with Crawler is coming to fruition.
Ugh. Ew.
Even the practice
Really?
motions of running couldn't take the edge off. Running had been my reprieve for so long. My escape long before I'd had costumes and the distractions of
I'm going
everything.
villain. I used to be like, oh, running? Who does that? And now I'm just like, Roman, I haven't gone running in so long. I feel icky.
Mhm.
I bought an elliptical to save my knees, and now I'm just like, going outside. You watch the scenery go by. Where have I heard all this before? She's getting to me. You guys are getting to me. This thing is getting to me.
My escape long before I'd had costumes and the distractions of everything that was involved there. It wasn't doing anything to help the panic that was taking hold of me.
Deep breathing, girl. You can do it.
I racked my mind for something. Anything that might serve as an option. Sewer? Could it get down into the sewer? Or storm drain?
He's into that too. Be careful.
It was a possibility, though with the structural integrity of the city being what it was, it could just as easily be suicidal. My bugs. Could I lift myself up the same way I'd lifted up the small tools?
Has anyone my bugs? Has anyone spliced Taylor with Oogie Boogie? My bugs, my bugs, my bugs. It's like she like melts away into a puddle or something. I just feel like it'd be funny.
Huh.
You've seen that end, right?
I could definitely see that.
No, I mean, you've seen that, right? Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I'm like that's the scene where he dies, right?
Yeah.
Or like disappears or whatever
Yeah,
happens to him.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see Taylor pulling that.
My bugs.
My bugs. Bugs.
Could I lift myself up the same way that I lifted up the small tools? More silk, millions more bugs? I couldn't take the chance it wouldn't work. The 1 minute mark had surely passed. I was on borrowed time now, trusting my fate to luck. Could Genesis form a new body in time? It took her minutes, and I didn't have that time to spare. She would have to find me, too. No, Genesis couldn't help. And the heroes? I searched in the direction of Jack and Bonesaw. The heroes were fending off a group of people. The group was larger than it had been the last time my focus was on them. She was recruiting civilians?
Who was?
They're Bonesaw.
Right.
Context-wise, she's
Is she still here?
They're around, yeah.
No, Bonesaw.
Jack, Bonesaw, Crawler are all in the area.
Oh, right, okay. I'm sorry. I was just kind of like, I thought she was gone. You know, I thought she was gonna be out for a while because, you know. I mean, I guess, you know, I hear things insert, hey, she could use a hand jokes, but
The heroes were falling back, gathering information. Cash was using his power, if I was judging right. I felt some of my bugs disappear from existence as he used his power on members of his team, putting them in some extra-dimensional compartment. The others around him, one member of the wards, Ursa and Weld. The good guys were preparing for an imminent bombing run. Jack and Bonesaw were making a run for it too. They'd sensed something was wrong from the way the heroes were acting. Their chances were about as good as mine. Amy. She was turning to run. The others crossed her path, shouted a warning. She used her power on the bug she was touching, making a final, haphazard connection. My grip over the relay bugs had been tenuous. This wasn't much better. One bug, and I couldn't sense enough about it. I didn't have that innate grasp of its biology, of how it operated, or the instincts that drove it. It would have to do. I chanced to look over my shoulder and regretted it. Crawler was bound tighter than ever, caught by my bugs, but the look threw me off balance. I stumbled.
he's into it. He's a pervert.
Nearly falling over.
I keep telling y'all, he's a pervert. He's a pervert. Well, you're laughing. Is it really that funny?
This is a really good running joke.
Nobody has ever pointed this out.
I don't think so.
No one has ever pointed out that the Slaughterhouse Nine is just made up of a bunch of perverts. Come on, guys.
Okay.
Really? You guys are internet people.
We need a different name for them if they're gonna be like a BDSM group.
Oh my god! Sound off in the comments. What should we call them? Oh man, I feel like I'm not creative enough for this. Oh.
I managed to keep my feet under me, righting myself, but the movement of my leg made me aware of the strain. Come on, come on. We met each other halfway. Listening to my power, it turned in midair so its back was to me. It skidded on the ground.
Get her.
6.5 feet long, 5 feet across, and 5 feet tall.
6.5 feet long, 5 feet across, and 5 feet
Tall. Mm-hmm. A giant beetle.
crawler turned into a giant beetle.
No, this is a thing that Amy sent.
Oh, okay. Because I was just
Mhm.
kind of like, okay, but also this thing is COVID distanced.
Yeah, a giant beetle.
You heard what I said. COVID, 6 feet long.
Yes.
5'6", 5'5".
It looked like she had used the Hercules beetle as a starting point, but built it broader, with larger, longer legs and 2 forelimbs with what looked like praying mantis-style blades.
Ooh.
Sporting a black shell that looked almost ragged, the tips a gray-white. It also featured a single large horn that curved overhand, pointing down at the ground. Please, I prayed. I swung one leg over its thorax and gripped the horn. It was an awkward posture,
Oh my
making
god, this is so cool. Taylor's riding a giant bug.
me feel like I'd fall forward and face plant on the ground with the slightest excuse.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh man. That's such an elegant move. That's it's kind of funny. It's cute, actually. Because I actually like in my head watched her do that, and I'm just like, that's adorable.
It ran on the ground, slower than me. Its shell parted behind me, revealing an overlarge, complicated set of wings.
Yeah, when you see actually how bugs' wings fold, it's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
They began to beat, drumming with 60 or 70 flaps a second. I'm sorry. Powered by an efficient machine of what I took to be a combination of biological hydraulics and musculature. Come on, I begged it.
What are you begging it for?
I felt it begin to lift.
Yay!
I even pushed with my toes, as if that could give it what it needed. We accelerated, my hair whipping behind me as we gained a dramatic boost in speed. But our trajectory was almost directly forward, not up. I kicked at the ground as we landed, as if that could lift us into the air. It wasn't working. It dawned on me why. My bugs normally had ingrained knowledge of how to function. This was a new life form. It had all the necessary parts. Amy had probably scaled everything up, given it every advantage in design I could want, counteracting all the problems that came with being proportionately larger.
You know what this reminds me of?
Mhm.
Heaven's Design Team.
Oh, yeah, that was a good show.
This is like a Heaven's Design Team moment.
Yeah.
You guys should watch it. It's Biomechanics and Evolutionary Biology, the anime, and it's hilarious. It's 4 coma. Which means, like, you know, the standard punchline.
The premise of Heaven's Design Team, if you don't know about it, is that God, you know, created the world, created the seas, everything. And then on what, day 6 or something?
He got lazy. And
Day 5, he went to create the animals and then got lazy.
so he outsourced it.
So he outsourced it to a design team.
And it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Because like God will just like send them all these orders.
And just be like, make it work somehow.
Yeah, and they have to figure out how to make them work.
And, you know, the orders will be things like a bird that doesn't lay eggs.
Uh-huh.
And then at the end of the show, at the end of each segment, there's this whole "it really exists" sections where they'll actually go into the animal that they created. And I learned some things. I took evolutionary bio. I understood a lot of it, but there were still some surprises for me where I was just like, "What? That's a thing? That is not a thing." And I looked it up in Google, and I was like, "Oh, that is a thing. Oh my god, it's great.
It was a good show.
It's great."
But at the end of the day, it didn't know how to fly.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! You better run, girl! You better hope this thing can run!
I used my
Run, little girl, before he licks at your eyeballs!
I used my power to control every movement. I felt it accelerate again and tilted our orientation.
Oh man, this is like a driver's ed course.
I felt myself shift slightly as I found myself almost directly on top, my legs gripping the underside of his thorax, and I overcompensated. We both crashed to the ground, a 10 or 12 foot drop for me.
Ooh.
My armor absorbed the worst of the impact, but I felt my forehead hit pavement.
Ow!
I always thought of the concussion I'd suffered whenever I took a blow to my head.
Trauma.
Come on! I growled the words, scrambling to my feet. Don't be hurt! Don't be hurt! He was okay. I could examine him with my power, I just couldn't comprehend him in the same natural, instinctive manner. It took attention, focus. With my direction, he used the flutter of his wings and the points of his scythe-tipped claws to flip over so he was ready as I reached him. I mounted him and tried again. We repeated the takeoff process, faster this time. We lifted off on the first try. I controlled my breathing, focused my attention on him, tried to avoid that same reflexive compensation that came with the shift of my balance. When I account for the wing compartments and the amount of space that the wings take up at the back of the shell, he's not much bigger than a motorcycle.
Oh my god! This is exciting.
Relating him to a motorcycle helped, giving me the confidence to lean gently into the turns as he needed to make in shifting with the air currents.
I'm sorry. I know it doesn't make this noise. My brain, I'm just kind of like, broom.
A laugh bubbled out from between my lips, 1 part hysteria to 2 parts relief and 3 parts exhilaration.
You have like a, what kind of bug is this? A beetle? You have a beetle bike!
A beetle bike?
Yeah! It's a beetle bike!
Is that an actual thing?
It is now, I guess.
Okay.
But it's a cool concept. Wouldn't you want to look if someone offered you a beetle bike or like a motorbike shaped like a beetle?
Mm-hmm.
You would be fool not to take it. Come on, it's so cool.
Yeah. This is awesome, right?
It's pretty awesome.
A laugh.
Victoria, or not Victoria,
Yeah.
who's it? Amy, you have good taste.
I was higher up than some 6-story buildings, and I barely realized it. Amy had heard what Gru said about a possible shortage of transportation and my lack of firepower. She'd supplied something to serve in the time allotted, with the resources I'd provided. She'd put this together in minutes.
Nice.
Growing confident in the mechanics of flying, I swooped us down. We were faster than the others on the ground, and we passed them with ease.
She's having fun. This is a joyride.
I loosened my death grip on the horn to extend one arm out to one side. A wave. A salute.
Oh my god, she's having so much fun. Aww.
That done, I pulled up.
This is adorable. Can I just point that out? That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
This is so cute, Taylor. Aww.
Crawler, still bound, was unable to tear through the silk as fast as the millions of spiders were connecting it. If there was only a way to stop the bombing, I could do something to pin him down, buy time for the heroes to arrange more permanent accommodations. But there wasn't. I could feel the effects as Clockblocker froze Cash in time, then froze himself, his suit at least. It was only the 4 of them. Clockblocker, Cash, Ursa, and Weld. The bomb was about to hit, and I could only guess if we were going to be out of the blast zone.
End chapter.
End chapter.
You got a new ride! You got a sweet new ride! Oh.
It's a pretty cool turn of events for her.
Right?
Yeah, it's great.
You all right, Amy. You all right.
Yeah, she all right.
She's just all right.
Mm-hmm. All right, anything else you want to say? No? Okay. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments, leave them in the Discord or on YouTube.
Give us names for the Slaughterhouse 9.
Yeah, give us names for the BDSM version of the Slaughterhouse 9, which is just the Slaughterhouse 9.
That's still a good BDSM game. Actually, that's a pretty decent BDSM name.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, we're the Slaughterhouse 9. We're a group of, well, kind of doms. Not really. Well, we got one sub who actually, we have one sub who looks like a dom, you know, blah, 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 the usual.
Yeah.
They're definitely perfect, though.
All right. Other than that, I hope you all have a nice evening, or morning, or afternoon, or whatever, wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next